Okay, I just wanted to address the whole Ukrainian situation here now. Uh, for one, most recently, I just seen a something in the news. Over 600 buildings destroyed in Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. And then they show many videos and pictures of the city destroyed. Um, Now, for me personally, I just want to take that with a grain of salt because it's been known historically that if there's a war between two different countries, right, and one of them is greatly overpowered by the other, what the smaller country will do is now they will keep retreating, defending. You know what I mean? That's all that they can do. But what they'll also do is they will destroy their own city in a chance to, for one, keep all their national secrets. So that the attacking nation doesn't obtain their secrets and their information, right? Also, it's to destroy any type of food or anything like that, so that the attacking nation would have to they would have to provide their own food, which is just stalling until hopefully they can win the war. I'm not saying that this exactly happened in this situation, but like I said, historically, this is known to work. Um, this is the only reason why Russia was able to defend against Napoleon. For one, uh, you know, uh, the French army greatly overpowered Russia, and they would have easily been able to win. But the Russians were smart. What they did was they kept retreating. And every time they retreated, they destroyed everything that they had, their food supplies, everything. So when the French army was in the middle of Russia and they were winning, they would have to go all the way back to France to resupply, and eventually it lost them the war. They also did this with Hitler. They kept retreating and destroying everything that they had, uh, and it worked. They were victorious in both situations against Napoleon and with Hitler. And the way that they won was by destroying everything that they've had, all their own stuff. So this is known to work in war. Um, for me, that's I could see them doing that. Um, but to be honest with you, Russia's not that far away from you guys. So I mean, I don't think in this situation it would work. But just throwing it out there, it's been known to happen. Why else would Russia completely destroy the entire city? I mean, it's not even a smart thing to do. Why, if you're attacking, you'd want to reclaim something. You just don't want the land. You'd want something else, but it could be both ways. Like I said, I'm just throwing that out there. It's been known to work in the past, so that could be happening now. I just wanted to try to fight all the disinformation that's being provided from Ukraine. Now, I'm definitely not pro-Russian here, but Ukraine isn't the democratic country that the our mainstream media is trying to portray them as. They're just not. Unfortunately, they are very oppressed. The people of Ukraine are being oppressed right now, and they are being controlled by a dictator. A couple of ways that shows that Zelensky is a dictator. For one, he has combined all national media outlets into one. So they get one news station, and that's it. It's pretty much like the same in Russia. They have one news station. They get one side of the story. They get one narrative. There's no opposing narratives out there. They don't get to go back and forth and try to figure out what's best. They are told what's best, and that's that. So they're not the democratic country that the media is, portraying them as. Um, so yeah, they've combined all their media stations. They've also banned their political parties. So there's no other political. They banned 11 political parties. Why are they banning all of a sudden? Since Zelensky came into power, why is he banning political parties? Now imagine if Biden did this or Trump did this. It wouldn't be allowed in our democracy because it's not a true democracy. It's just not something that should happen ever. There shouldn't be any ban on any type of political parties unless they're known to be, some sort of terrorists or something like that. You know what I mean? They shouldn't ban political parties. And if you don't think that's a huge red flag, then yeah, I'm not sure what to tell you. But to me, that's a huge red flag. They should not be banning political parties. So they're banning political parties, news stations, media. He puts his opposition in jail. The former president was in jail. He's been in jailed. And the weird thing is that this dude was free, and he actually came back to Ukraine to turn himself in to fight these charges. Now I'm sure he could have went to Russia, or something like that, and been just fine. He would have lived life, and he would have never had to sit in a jail cell. But he didn't do that, and that is a major thing. It just sticks out to me that why would this dude do this if he could have lived just fine without doing it, unless he was some sort of political martyr. He wanted to prove a point that this Zelensky guy isn't what everybody's saying that he is, and he literally turned himself in on treason charges. It's not like it's any type of petty crime. It's a treason charge. I just don't see anybody doing this unless they're actually a good person, and they're fighting for a democracy. So to me, it just it doesn't seem right to me that he would do this, and he's putting him in jail. It's just crazy. There's a lot of misinformation coming out of Ukraine right now. I just wanted to kind of set the story straight, or not even just do that, just give you some more information so that you don't feel like you're only getting your information from one source or a couple sources like our mainstream media. But this guy, he's banning media outlets. Like, could you imagine Joe Biden banning Fox News or Donald Trump banning CNN? It would never happen. In a democratic state country, they would never allow that sort of thing to happen, because that's anti-democracy. It's not a democratic state. That is it's a dictator. That's what he is. Zelensky is a dictator, and I can see why a lot of people are anti-Zelensky right now. I'm not pro Putin whatsoever, but I'm definitely not pro Zelensky. I feel like we should just stay out of this. There's no reason to go to war in regard to this and spend billions of dollars in a stupid conflict between two dictators. If anything, they both need to be removed from power. Ukraine is not a democracy. Unfortunately, Russia's not a democracy. But the mainstream media would love to make everybody believe that Ukraine is a democracy. But the truth, unfortunately, is that it isn't. He does a lot of things that are well known to be things that dictators do to obtain and keep power. Banning news outlets, jailing opposition leaders, jailing journalists, controlling the media. It's just well-known things that do work in a dictator regime. Unfortunately, like I just wanted to let you guys know some different things about Zelensky. I believe him not to be the president that everybody believes that he is. Like I said, I think we need to keep our nose out of it. We should just sit this one out so that it's not escalated in any way, shape, or form. And could you imagine if Russia was creeping into Mexico and then he started to set up his army on the Mexican and United States border? I don't think that would go too well here. I don't think we would allow that very much. And why should Russia? I mean, like I said, I'm not pro-Russian at all, but why would you want an army on your border that doesn't belong there? It's not even a neighboring country's army. It's NATO. It's one of the most powerful military cooperation systems in the world. Why would you want that on your border? You wouldn't, just like we wouldn't want Russia on our border. Like I said, that's a major reason why Putin should be acting in a way that he is. He shouldn't allow us on his border, and nor should we allow him on our border. We should just stay out of the conflict. They've been fighting for years and years and years, and mainstream media is portraying that Zelensky is, he wants a democracy, and they portray it to be something like the U.S., but it's not. Like I said, he is banning media stations. He's jailing his opposition leaders. He's jailing journalists. He's banning political parties. He's not a democratic leader. He's a dictator. Unfortunately, it's just the truth of the situation here. So we need to keep our nose out of it, and we need to not put any more money into this stupid conflict. There's many other situations that we need to, fix on our own, in our own country before we help two dictators fight each other. Kind of seems stupid to me. I don't know. Just a thought.